Hi and welcome. We are live again today. This is the second demo for the day. Just going to move the camera a little bit my way. Not even just zoom in, see if I can get a little bit closer. Okay, so today I thought I would also do a bit of a demo on stenciling and also using stamps, block stamps. I do stock these, but I thought I would, they've been here for a while and occasionally I sell them, but I don't think people really know how to use them. And I've also stocked these for a while too. Some of these I don't have anymore, but there are some that I still do have available. I am going to use this one and probably this one. So that one there, you can see it. And this one here. I don't think these are on my website, but they're going to be part 2. I missed part 1. Does it say part 2? Does it say part 2? Oh. You are so great to be giving up your time and expertise. I'm sure, like myself, everybody really appreciates. Oh, thank you, Lynette. Yeah, I absolutely know that people do. No, it's not part 2. I've just making sure. I'll just check the description. It's definitely not coming up as part 2. So this here, I have in front of me some tools and stuff, and I'm going to explain what I've got. So I have the stencils. You can see well used. So those two are going to be the ones I'm going to use. I do also have the stamps. They don't have, they're like a resin. So they're not wood. They look like wood, but they're definitely a resin. So I'm going to use some of these, probably maybe the Paisley and maybe that one. I'll have a look as I go. So I'll just pop them now. I'm just going to zoom back out again so you can see all the products. I also have some sponges, just some random ones. They're just $2 shop ones. I have the Lumiere Gold because I like the metallic part of it. So I have that one as well. Make sure it's done up. I also have a variety of the Jacquard textiles, which are from the Exciter pack. So some of you might have already got these and others you might not. I have a large paintbrush. So it's got a nice big open, like pointed, but very full. This is really good for absorbing paint and water. Just another sponge there. I also have an older paintbrush that I'm going to use. There's a bit of dust coming off it, powder from the paint. And I also have some Sharpies with me. I have scissors, which I have 2 pairs of. And I have some Mod Podge. So you can see that there. All right. So I also have a little tub of water, just in case, with my brushes in it, that I need to use. Here also I have it's a batik of some sort. It's just a tonal batik, and I have some wadding underneath it, just for some protection of this underneath. Helps to stop the paint from going everywhere. Then the other thing I also have is a panel. I only got these in the other day. You guys haven't even seen these, but I thought they were pretty cute. So I'm going to utilise a panel for what I'm going to do. So I'll come back to that in a minute. Now, let's get some stuff out of the way and ready for what we want to do first. So first things first, I want to actually, I'm just going to zoom back out again so you can really see. Oops, wrong way again. There we go. You can really see what I've got in front of me. I'm going to work out a background colour because this is really quite bland. It's just one whole colour. So to do that, I need to figure out what I'm going to put in the background. And to do this, I'm going to use the textile colours. I found that they're consistent enough that they don't run too badly, but they'll also give a good colourage, so a colour cover. Okay, just grabbing one of these palette. Okay. Now I'm going to that over there. Put the palette to one side. It's on my left-hand side, which is unusual for me. I work to the right a lot. And first things first, I need to pick out a few colours. So I'm thinking I'm going to go into the old purple. And just so you can see what I'm doing, put a bit of purple there. I'm going to get the bright green there. And I'm going to use yellow, as I call it. There it is. So this is an opaque paint, so it's not, it means it's sort of got, sorry, it's a translucent paint, I should say, so it's not opaque, my apologies. So it's quite good for this sort of thing, because you don't want it to be, you know, like complete coverage. You still want to be able to work with it and see a little bit behind it and cover over the top of it and all sorts of things. So I'm going to use this one. Now they might come apart. See, they might come apart because they're just the $2 ones. So I'm going to hold down there. I'm just going to dip it in some water. That's whatever you want to call them. Okay, I'll just grab some of those. Big must. So I'm just going to take out some of the excess, move the palette to the side, and I'm going to work in scrubbing some paint, load it up a little, and let's just, holding your fabric down, let's just work in some swiping motions. And I'm being very random where I put things, and I'm not worrying if I'm sort of left with lines and things like that. I can, that'll get fixed up later. That'll neither here nor there. A little bit abstracty, okay? I've just dipped it in a bit of water just to add different textures or different shades of the purple, and it also helps me clean up the palette a little bit. Gets a lot of that paint out. I'm going to dab it on now, and then dip it in water. Oops, days. Dab it out again. Squeeze it out. So I'm just squeezing that out. Which is everywhere. Try and keep it sort of flat if you can. Sometimes people tape them. I find that I don't really need to in this sort of thing, because you're doing very short, sharp movements. Nothing really goes anywhere. And grab the green. Nice bright green. Let's just fill up some of the areas with the green. Now, if I go dip that straight into the next colour, which is red, you're going to get a brown because of the green. So I'm just going to pop that in the water, grab a different one. Again, I might have to hang on to it. Just dampen it. Get the red. And just start filling in. The other thing I've got with me too is a hairdryer, which is just off the screen a little, just so I can dry this quickly for you and keep moving. Have you got any questions so far of anything that I'm doing or using, or want to explain again, or? Nothing? It's good. I'm glad you all enjoyed the last video. I enjoyed doing it. It was good fun. So I don't mind that I've got a bit of orange going on. I'll get a bit of yellow here, and I'm just going to pop it into, I know it looks dirty, but it's actually a clean area. I would have to scrape that with a knife to get that off. It's not coming off for anyone. I'm going to grab this one, just dip it in some water. Pop that in the water as well. And this will give me a different shape as well. So that one's looking a little bit muddy, but, you know, blind man love to see it type thing. All right, so that's going to give me a massively bright, this massive bright background. So you're looking at it going, oh my God, Michelle, what have you done? Perfect, good bit of fabric. So let me just turn this on. So if you don't like loud noises, I just need more time to do all these fun things you did. Yeah, well, let's turn this on. Okay, almost completely dry. There's this area here where I put the water is quite wet, so I'm not really stressed over it. It doesn't really matter. So basically, at the moment, I'm just going to pop those aside. Apologies for the loud noise with the hairdryer. And I'm going to grab this one, which is that little punchy one, that little round one, because it's more like a sponge, if that makes sense. Now, I did use the yellow in it purposely because the colour that I'm going to do over this is going to be gold in colour. So I'm going to sponge the gold over. Give it a good shake. And this is the Jacquard Metallic Gold Lumiere paints. So these are opaque. Okay. Just grab my thingy. I'm going to pop it. You can see I've poured a little bit in already. Hey, all over my hands. Nice one. I did do a bit of a spill. Grab that, take it up with the sponge. You can see paint everywhere. That's why we have paper towels. All right. See, some of it's gone there, but that's okay. We're just going to it's a little bit bubbly, and that's because there's a bit of water in that sponge. So just pick it up and move it. And swipe around. But I like the way the gold shines against all the bright colours. So if you've got too much paint on, it makes it too wet, which is why it's all doing its thing. So I'm just going to hold that down, just swipe it over. And another one over here. You don't have to do the whole thing, you know, it can just be sections of it. And pop that aside. It is very soothing because you're literally just, I mean, you're just creating, really, you're just creating. So I'm just going to swap over those petals. put that back down and do the ones behind them. These ones over here. I started to get a bit of a headache before, and I'm like, seriously. So I took a couple of Panadol. I don't want a headache today, thank you very much. I don't get headaches very often, but I think because I've had breakfast, but I haven't had much since, so I've had some yogurt now. And I'm going to pop this one here. So I'm just going to come in. You can use a paintbrush if you want to. And these stencils aren't expensive. When I say aren't, they're not that. They're not like $30, $40. They're only like, a few bucks each or something. Sometimes they're $8 or $10 or whatever. But you use them over and over again, and these will get thrown into the sink shortly. So I'm just going to pop that there. I have a huge amount of paint that needs to go back in. So I'm going to hold that down and just scoop it back in because I made a mess. Too expensive to waste. I've got a bit of my brush, so let's just throw some down here. And I'll pop that over here. It's got a bit on the side. Okay. Just in water for now. I have headaches 85% of the time. It drives me mad some days. Yeah, I very rarely, very, very rarely get headaches. Very rarely. All right. But when I do, if I don't get on them too early, I'll end up with a migraine. Not good. Okay. So I'm thinking of grabbing. I'll just grab a black. Hang on. So this is sort of semi-opaque. It's got a nice squeeze bottle, which makes it very easy for me to manage. And you can use a roller or a sponge or whatever you like. I'm just going to paint over the top. Just like that. They don't have to be like, I don't want them like so black that it's ridiculous. I just sort of want to be able to get an idea that there's a stamp behind there. That makes sense. You don't want a whole heap of the paint in the grooves of it either. It'll take away the detail. So pushed a bit harder, got a little bit more. I mean, you can make borders out of it, whatever you like. You're so inclined. If you wipe them down straight away and then just run them under water, it'll come out really, really quickly and easily. So I'll get the paisley. And what I'm thinking is that I can actually turn this into like a journal cover or something a bit different than the usual. I reckon I'll get one more out of what I've got there. I do have a little bit of gold. Let's just chuck that gold on it. Why not? There we go. Give it a good wipe. And they'll go to the sink. Oh, okay. Speaking of borders, I have 2 to go on the stainless. Oh my gosh. You're like killing it. Absolutely killing it. Excuse me. Okay, so I'm just going to wash that brush out because I'm going to need it in a minute. Take out the majority of that paint. And I'm going to quickly dry this off, so bear with me. Sorry about this. So I did look into getting one of those, like those heat dryer things, but they're so expensive. Went hair dryer do. Still a little bit wet here and there. That one there's a little bit damp. I can see it's shining, but all good. So at the moment, it just looks like something that's really, whatever. So what I'm going to do, permanent marker, because I can put my hand on here now, I think. I'm just going to go around some of these and just create some interest. Gotta love a permanent marker, hey? So you don't have to go around every one. That's really wet still. It's getting there. Could end up covering that anyway, so. Okay, so literally just grabbing the texture and doing a few outlines here and there, nothing exciting. And like I say, that doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it looking Mickey Mouse. You just want it looking like it's a little bit of something going on that's of interest. Alrighty. So that's looking okay. Very graffiti looking, yeah, righto, it is, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop this at the sink, and my texture's over there. I need to move this to the side for 2 seconds, and I've got to pick out my owl. So looking at the colours I have, I'm just looking at the colours on the owls. Now, maybe thinking this fella. So I'm going to do the unspeakable. I know, you're going to die. You are going to die. So I'll just cut him out of there. So panels are not just for making quilts. You know, you can use them any way. I'm just going to put that aside. So this is him here. So what I want to do now is cut around him, and I'm going to fussy cut. So it's going to take me a few minutes. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask. Let's see if I can do it with my big ones. Cut away a lot of the major stuff. I feel like I'm going back to front. So you were horrified that I'm cutting out of a panel, that you would go, oh my God, can't believe you're doing that. Cannot believe you're just cutting out this gorgeous looking owl. How cute is he? These ones again. Easier on the hands, yeah, much easier. I'm just gonna, I don't know whether I want those little figures on there, but anyway, cut through here. You can live with this, good. All right. So this means I don't have to draw him on. I don't have to paint him on. I don't have to do anything other than cut him out and get him on there. Nice. Yeah, so just because fabric comes by meterage or by panel or however it comes doesn't mean that you can't cut it up to within an inch of its life to use. I mean, you buy it, you spend money on it. So you can use it any old way you like. Very cute. We do like it. So okay. I cut out my butterflies. Yeah, absolutely. Saw you do that. They look fabulous. That quilt's going to look amazing, and you've made it so much more your own by putting your own swing on it with the butterflies. I like it. All right, almost there. And this can be also, you know, sometimes you get fabric and you go, you know, I like the picture, but I don't like the background. You know, like some of those Australian animal ones, you know, I like the actual picture, but I might not like the actual background so much. I like the animal, but not so much what they've done with the background. You know, like with the triangles in training, that's why I cut all those borders off, because I went, bleh. All right, so how cute is he? So guess where he's going to go? Anywhere I like him. But before I do that, I actually want to get, yeah, this is my pearlescent white here. And I'm going to, give me 2 secs. I've just got to figure out what I'm going to use to draw on. So, might actually just use the bottom of the Mod Podge thing. So I'm going to get my texter. Just looking at where he's going to go. So I think I'm going to go here, and I'm going to draw a circle. And then I'm going to do another one over here. And I might do one here. My eyes wanted to keep looking at the yellow, so it distracted my eyes to the butterfly. Yeah, good idea. Okay. And I'm thinking that I will get my paintbrush. I'm going to use my, and this is the, again, the Lumiere, because I'm going to dip straight in, because it's not translucent, it's opaque. I might need 2 coats, but I'm just going to go around these. Just do it roughly. You might, yeah, you definitely will need 2 layers because you can still see the stuff underneath. So I want to get rid of that. I want to make it really bright white. The next one. And being acrylic, this paint dries so quickly. I mean, you can see how quick it dries when I get the hairdryer out. If it was an oil paint, I could sit there with a hairdryer for a month and it still wouldn't bloody dry. You know what I mean? Like, acrylic is really good like that. I had a candle on in here before, and I reckon that might have not enough air circulating. Today I don't have any fans or anything on, so I reckon that might have given me the headache. That and not enough coffee as usual. Always not enough coffee. So you can see I've still got black lines there for around the circles. That's okay. I'm painting over the stencils and all that sort of stuff. It's all good. So let's be okay with what we're doing. Very graffiti looking. I reckon that's a great name for it. Graffiti fabric painting. You have to be my marketing manager, Rado. I need one of those. Someone who actually makes me work. I do get lazy, you know. All right. So by the time I've come back to the first one, it's almost dry. So it's not going to take long. I'll put this second coat on. It'll take longer. Just what came to my mind. Really? I need a marketing manager. Or just about the graffiti. You're a bit far away for me, Rado. Marketing managers need to be up my bum, giving me a hard time. I don't pay very well. Free classes? All right. So, discount on fabric? All right, let me get this thing going. Hang on, I just want to get that paint well out of the way. He's so nice. Look how shiny. Okay. Me think that looks pretty good. I like it. All right, now put the owl on and see what happens. So let me zoom in there. Yeah, where is it? Up there. Hang on, let me move that camera across. It's way out of my. There we go. Oh, you silly camera. I need a lot of things, Rado. There we go. Oops, way. There we go. Right. Sit still, thing. So I can go up there. I'm thinking I will. I don't know. I can pop it like that. So now, before I continue on, and I'm just looking at where it's got to go. I do need it around those things. So it's going to get cut back too, by the way. So I've got options. I could put it there. I could come from this way, I suppose. I'll put a bit of paint on there. Oops, a daisy. Let me turn it so I can see. I'll cut this excess fabric off because it's in my way. So, just move that out of the way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think this way is really good. So the white just makes such a huge difference. I'm thinking of moving it up a little bit more so I can get those up there. Yeah, I like that. That looks really, really good. I think he needs something else around his tail. So I might just grab this little brush. I've got some, and just fill it up and just do some randoms. Just, you know, I don't know. Just so that it's not, doesn't look like I've just put a blob of paint there, do you know what I mean? Although I really just did. All right, I'll just wash that out again. I'm thinking that's enough. Just needed something behind his tail. I'll just wash that brush out because I'm going to need it in a minute. And also, but it just almost looks like he's got 3 moons behind him, doesn't it? Cool. Alrighty, I did get a little bit of paint on there, but you know, I think I've got it under my fingernail and I just put more on. Yeah, I'll fix that in a minute. So, Mod Podge. Right back. Dip your brush in. So what Mod Podge will do is make it stick down to the background. It looks like he's got little hairs there. It will make it difficult for me to actually stitch, so I won't be stitching. This is it will dry clear, FYI. I'm just lifting it up. So but it'll make it stick down. I mean, I can absolutely just wash it all out now, and all that Mod Podge will come off. If I decide that no, I need to quilt it. But to be honest with you, I'm thinking pretty much I'm going to end up going around these. That's about it. Not really needing to have a lot of sewing on it. Yeah, so that Mod Podge will dry. I'll get the hairdryer in a minute. And I can always paint over what I've got there. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no problems with adding more paint over the top of it, because Mod Podge is a water-based product. I probably could still stitch over it if I so desired. Just might take a bit of a, you know, beating under the machine with the Mod Podge. You can be liberal with it. It'll just ensure that it's going to stay. And I'll get the hairdryer onto it in a sec. Just got to lift that little booger up. Like that. And to be honest with you, it wouldn't hurt if those moons had another layer around them. But I'll just dry this off. So sorry about the noise. Still a bit cracky in places. I don't know whether it'll let me do this, so I will try. So with the permanent marker, once you get it dry, you can sort of come in and do a little bit more detail. You know, go on the outline of his claws and other bits and pieces. Outline his wings. Wild Mike filters out the noise after a few seconds. Wild Mike, because it has wild hair. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's good to know that it does filter out that. It's got that, yeah, hairy mop of fuzz on it. He's a bit wild looking, isn't he? when I first read that, I'm thinking, who's Wild Mike? And I realised you're talking about the microphone I've got. Yeah, just a bit vague. So come in, do some detail. Permanent markers are perfect. I mean, you can use paint pens if you want to. Yeah. Why go to the expense? If you've already got permanent markers there, they work exactly the same for this sort of project. And I'll just do a bit of an outline now. You see the wing instantly comes up better. I'm just going around his body a little. A bit of a detail. So I'm just going to move it around a bit. I know you guys want to see what I'm doing, but I need to turn it so I can put my foot on it and hold it down. So I'm going back around those moons just to give them a thicker line, because I think they look actually better with a line around them. It's really giving them a contrast between the dark and the light. He looks pretty cool, doesn't he? So the person who drew this, you know, I mean, they've done a brilliant job originally, which is why I'm using it in the first place. But I just wanted to add some for what I'm doing. And oops, it is this way on the wrong angle. So hence the outline. Does look fantastic. Thank you, Alberto. You can do this too. You need to come on a road trip with me, Rado, and we can sit there and play together. Later. Alrighty, we're almost through going around him. And a little bit lifted there, so I might get some more Modgy Podge. And that there, even though it's not a moon, I can give it a bit of a circular shape. It would be fun. Road trip. Girlfriend, road trip. Need to, I mean, we can't do much while all this COVID stuff's going, but we need to do that cockatoo one. That's the bottom of it. So in here, just going around some of these, not a lot. So I've had, funny enough, I've had Mod Podge in the store too for like years. I've always had a supply of it, but I don't get the time to do the demos with it and how to use it and what to use it in and how much to use, all that sort of stuff. So this has given me the time, having this little break from sales and stuff. Yes, the cockatoo, yes. So it encourages me to show you, because, you know, it's really, the whole scheme of things, it's about what you guys want to learn, not so much about what I want to show you. Sometimes I just go, no, I've got to show you this because I get excited about things, but the reality is, it's, in the end, it is about you. So how cool is that? Do his eyes. It's looking pretty damn good. Don't know about you, but I'm impressed with the whole scenario. The panel just made it, like the actual cutout makes it. Without that, it's still just graffiti. And I say just, but it is. Signed. Now, I like it. I think it looks pretty bloody awesome. I'm thinking that I've got enough paint everywhere and anywhere. I can't see that I need to add anything else on. And it's ready actually to just trim back. So let's do that while we're here. And then I can, I'll wait until it dries completely and then I'll iron it. I won't iron it until it's completely dry. I don't trust that I won't stuff it if I iron it too hard. That one, I think this is. It does, doesn't it, Rado? It's working really well together. The whole thing seems to be working well. I'm enjoying it. And I hope you guys are enjoying it too. So, I mean, you can do blocks. Imagine this, doing a whole heap of blocks like this and putting it into a quilt. Now you're talking. Could you imagine? Because in this, we should start this, another project, because in this you've got all these different owls. Could you imagine each block graffitied owls? Oh, I like the idea. Sign each one. It makes it, you just do what you want with them. You can stamp them, all that sort of stuff. Could you imagine them in a quilt? So many ideas, so little time. Yes, I know. But I reckon that would look amazeballs. I think I might do that. I reckon I might do that. 2021 bomb. Ba-bam. Here's the start of it. Wow, that's a great idea. I like it. I think that's a way to go. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm up for that. You guys up for that? I think that's a great idea. You've just seen block number 1 for 2021. There's your sneak peek. Sign it. Make sure you sign. Each block is an individual. we can, and I reckon, once this is dry, I'm going to stick shite. That means more shopping. No. You can still use what you've got. You've got paints and all that sort of stuff and permanent markers. You don't have to go shopping. And the only thing you'd need would be the panel, unless you've got one that you could do without ours. If you want to do one, if you've got one, say with dogs, cats, girls, whatever, yeah, use what you've got at home if you want to. Don't have to. And the panel, I think, is only like $14 or something. I think it's quite cheap. But yeah, imagine those other ones too. You've got those animal panels. Hang on, let me just find, like the ones we had the other day, you know, like the platypus and all that sort of stuff. You know how they got small ones with the frogs? Oh, you don't need stamps, dude. That you can just paint. You can have, I mean, I'm happy to get you stamps, but we won't need it till next year. We've got plenty of time. I reckon that's a great idea. I'm just going to show you this because you don't need to do it with this. You could do it with any panel. Let me show you. Not that I'm going to cut this up, but I want to just show you. Actually, I've got one open. Hang on. Okay, so this panel comes with, I think, 6 or 9. I can't remember. So cut out your frogs and have them on there. You've got, yeah, no worries. Cut out these babies. Cut out him. Pop them in the middle. Yeah, so, you know, use these ones that you got the other day, or, you know, something that you've already got in your stash. I'll advertise it with the owls because I've already started now. But, hey, why not? There you go. So I don't like that line there. It needs to change. We're just going to, yeah, now I'm happy. Stop touching things, Michelle. But I think that looks fantastic. I'm really impressed with how that turned out. And I'm glad you guys joined me for it. I'm hoping that you really enjoyed it. This is stuck down, by the way. I do have a little bit lifting there because I don't think I put any underneath. I'm going to grab a little bit on there. And just chuck it underneath there. And you could raw edge applique. You don't have to modgy podge. I just like it because it makes everything simple. I mean, still got to stitch over it anyway. So if you don't have Mod Podge, you don't have to do it. You can do a raw edge, but that's the product you use. And I can see little bits of white here, so I'm just going to just touch them up with some black, just because they're annoying me. But yeah, she's pretty much finished. I'm really happy with that. The other thing too is, I like the look the best, yeah, is that in the panel, which I threw, I didn't throw it away, but I popped it to the side. Also in here comes these like little flowers. So there's no reason why you can't, you know, do a little bit more fussy cutting if you want to, or see that fern there. So rather than trying to cut around that, because that would be like nightmare, you can draw it. So I do this very tentatively. So just very gently. And then you can just do a bit of a wiggle up each line, or down each line, and that will make it look like a fern. See? So rather than trying to fussy cut that, just draw it on. And all of a sudden, you've created your own little bit of artwork in there. Yeah? Cool, hey? There you go. Yes, I was actually thinking that, Terry. Doing it as a quilt as you go, I think that would be really, really well worth doing. And I think that that might be the way to go. So I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. A quilt as you go would suit it much better. I'm just going to find my little scissors. Oh, there you are. Because I just want to cut out one of these flowers. And the reason why I'm doing this is because if you don't want to cut too close and you're just sort of cutting like that, with this Mod Podge stuff and everything, once you've stuck it down and you've got it all ready to go, you can actually paint over the top of that fabric. We can paint over it first, whatever. And that will get rid of those blue sides. It is a very, tweeny, isn't it? Yeah. You could do trucks and stuff like that for a boy, or dinosaurs. That'd be cool. So, you could pop the flower on, whatever. You might want to pop it over here somewhere just to the side, just so it's a little bit more random rather than sitting at the end of a branch. And then put that on, but you can actually paint around it rather than leaving that blue on, or rather than, going around those tiny little areas. I mean, if you really feel like putting yourself through some torture, you're welcome to do that too. I'm just showing the torturous process. And plus, being not a batik, they will fray. So, FYI. So the less playing around you do with any kind of fabric other than a batik, the less chance you got of it actually fraying. Less is more. So, yeah, I mean, you can put a couple of flowers on, whatever you like, It's going to be yours in the end. Every one of these bombs will be different. How many hours per panel, please? Okay, damn good question. Do you know, and I only got these in the other day, and I promised myself I wasn't going to show you, but when I wanted to do this, I went, oh, those hours would be perfect. Now, if you're wanting these, I am not paying, not invoicing, nothing until next year. Just saying. Not getting them, nothing. Because I promised you I wouldn't go doing that to you anymore until next year comes along and we move on from 2020. So I will tell you in a minute. I've got a feeling there's like 8 or 10. I'll tell you in a sec. Now, I've tortured myself. My godfather. Anyway, there it is there. And you can see I've accidentally snipped off the end of that thing and everything. So let me have a look. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 panels. And it's got little floody by things as well. They might be good to put on there. But yeah, and you can pop that up there if you want. Put it in his hair. Well, he doesn't have hair, but you can pop it there. Oh, that looks cute. I like it. Very cutesy. It's going on. I've got aeroplanes that I've thread painted, which I haven't been able to decide what to do with. Think I would like them in this. That is a fantastic idea. Can we order a panel today? Oh, Lynette. How about this? Oh, I think, right, I will not sell any of these when I put up that we're going to do this bomb. Okay, I will make sure that I have one aside for yourself and for anyone else who's come along to this. I'll make a list. Promise I will. But if I don't make it now, I'm going to forget. You know that. You do know that. So I'll go around that in black in a minute. I did start it. Actually, no, you started it. Then Terry started it. It's all your fault, right? It's a great idea, and I think it's fantastic. So we don't have to do any like major applique or themes or anything at all. Yeah, I reckon Lynette, Terry, Rado, anyone else that's watching now or sees this afterwards, we're not going to start this until next year. Just wondering if I can get that like this around there without making a mess. And I'm thinking that this is a great way to do it. We really don't have to draw anything either. Like I'm not really drawing, I'm just going around lines, edges. And we're going to do it as cool as you go. So she'll be finished because I've been wanting to do a project with a cool as you go. So that this is perfect. And Terry, that's a fabulous idea. And Rado, it's your fault. Just saying. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to finish that other thing so you can do this one. Yeah, I like with the flower in the hair. And I've still got all that fabric there that, you know, I reckon that we need to, when we do this, I think we need to save all these pieces and we'll get some bias binding, and we're going to make a really nice border to go around, and we'll also make it funky with some painting. Fan-freaking-tastic, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time, effort you've put into following me and sharing and all that sort of stuff and supporting my business. I am going to be live again at around about 3, so I will see you. Yes, this will be definitely for next year. Yes, should be good by mid-Jan for a new project. Yep, probably thinking maybe we might have to do it. So we might actually have to do this as a mystery quilt as you go. So because I don't reckon I'll get it all finished before mid to late Jan. So we'll do it as a mystery, and each block I'll do a block before, you know, the actual day, and yeah, and we'll go for it. So yeah. Anyway, I'll think more on it, and we will see you guys soon. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you at Rado. It's always Rado's fault. Well, when it's Mary's here, it's always Mary's fault, or Dot's. It's always Dot's. Yeah, right, it's my fault. Okay, so I will see you guys at about 3 o'clock, and we will do some more work. Well, projects, stuff, yeah. So I'll take a nice photo of that. There you are. You can see it. She's looking pretty spunky with a flower in her hair. And we will see you soon. Yeah, me too, Rado. I've got to buy stuff to get this stuff in. I should be right. But don't go overboard, because we can pretty much use almost the same 3 or 4 different products for the whole thing. Okay, and you've got the paints. You might only need like 3 or 4 of these, and they're about $10, $15 each. And you might need some Mod Podge. Okay, but the rest of the stuff you've got. Okay, I just used the textile stuff, but if you've got plain fabric paint or acrylic paint, you can still use that as well. Just might be a little bit stiffer, but you know, whole scheme of things, blind men and all that stuff. See you soon. Bye.